Hey, what's going on, guys? Ashish here from channel Irania, and today we are back with an exciting tutorial. Let's see what we're going to create today. Nice. So to create these types of effects, you need a plugin called Trapcode Particular. I will just attach the link. You can download the trial version of the like plugin, and you can use it to create these types of effect. So let's see how we are going to create. At first, we are going to create these types of explosive thing. So let's see. Let's jump to our After Effects and let's rename it as, say, render. Now layer new solid, we are going to take as bg. We are going to create the background. At first we are going to add a say effect. We can go to our effects and preset, or you can do one thing. You can go ahead and download a effects pack from Video Copilot. It's a free one. Like you will get a shortcut while you press Control and spacebar. On that part of time you will get to see this types of thing, and you can type gradient ramp over here by selecting the layer. Sorry, gradient ramp, and let's change the color to blue. So dark blue. It's to radial ramp, and it's all the way up. We can switch the color to need a good background. Oops. It look nice to me. Now the next part is that we are going to create a new layer, new solid, and let's rename it as particular and add an effect Trapcode Particular. First thing first, we are going to make it 10 seconds long. Alright, so at 5 seconds, what we can do, we can change the particle size to 2000 particles per second to 2000. Now next to velocity, we'll cut down the velocity to 50. Velocity randomness, it's okay, under emitter. Let's go to particles and let's change the life to 1.2. 10, sorry, not 1.2. Yeah, let's take the life to 10 second, and size will be 1.2. Okay, now you can see it look nice. Now what we can do, we can go ahead and go to our physics and go to air, and under air you can go to spirit width and increase the strength, and you can increase the radius too. So 300, it looks okay to me. Alright, so the next part is that we are going to do some keyframing. So we will go after 5 seconds. See, bring up the, by hitting T you will bring up the opacity and take it 0. Go to 5 seconds and just change it to 100. Alright, now what we will do, we will go ahead and hit S to bring up the scale, and 100, maybe we will go, say, 3 frames and change the scale to 0. And what we can do, we can go to 2 to 3 frames more and change it back to 100. Okay, now what we can do, we can go to our particles physics section, and under physics we will go to radius, and on this path we are going to add a keyframe of 300 and say 2 to 3 frames, and we'll increase the radius So we created this thing. Now the next part is to create our particle ball. So we'll keep it as it is, and we're going to create a new, just turn it off. We're going to create a new solid, just rename it as 01. You can go to effect, Trapcode, particular, and now change it to 2000. Now the next part is we will work with velocity, cut down to 50, and we can give a randomness, say 100. Velocity motion will be 0, and distribution will be 0. You can keep a distribution, it will look nice. So go to 0 to 5 second. Now at this point what we are going to do, we are going to go to our vertical setting, change the live to 10 second, take it 1.5, and change the size to 1.5, and we can change it with, we can change this opacity over live to random from gradient, color over live, you can select a preset also, I can randomize also. I will just go with this thing, and maybe the color, it's okay to me. Now we'll go to physics, air, and next to air we are going to go to spirit fit, strength will be 100 and radius will be 300. We don't need any feather, so we'll feather it out, and the next thing what we will do, we will go to our emitter settings and just change the point to here, 340 for me. So what it will do, you can see once I change the position of the emitter, it starts from the side, from the left hand, you can see, right, and it's creating a nice effect. Now what I need to do, I just need to, like these things, these particles, I just need to flow on this side, like on the right side. So what I will do, I will just go to wind under air and just take wind to say 20. Now what we'll do, you can see the particles, the wind is blowing on left, from left to right. Now it's very easy. What we will do, we'll just duplicate for Control D to duplicate, Control D duplicate, Control D to duplicate. Select the layer, go to layer, transform, change it to vertical, flip vertical, it will flip horizontal, right, transform, flip horizontal, and for this you can press R for rotate and take a value of 90, and R for rotate, and you can rotate it too. It will be 260, the value will be 260, or maybe 65, 70s, okay. Now from 4 point it's starting, right, and now what we will do, we will just go ahead and pre-compose all this layer, right click, pre-compose, remove all the attribute and just rename it as party, cooler ball. So we have our particle and particular ball. Now what, for the first one what we created, like after 5 seconds, if we take the, now you can see we have something like this. Nice. Now we need to disappear the cycle once it get burst. So we will just check the keyframe by hitting U on the keyboard, and on this position it's getting closed, and we will select this thing, and we will bring up the opacity, and we will select the keyframe, move 2 frames, and add opacity to 0. So we are done with our base thing. Now it's time to add some text and to add some like extra thing like optical flare and all that. So for that, what we will do, we will go ahead and create our text. We can take our text tool and just we will write anything, presenting. We will just align it to center. Let's change the res to full. Presenting. Now we can add something like can add a emboss. Presenting. We can add a drop shadow. Change the color to say gray. Okay, and you can take a distance and softness maybe high. And what we can do, we just need to check. Okay, we can add effect, add an say bullet train, hit you, it will come. Okay, all right, and at this point we need the text should disappear on this point, so we can bring up the opacity, add a keyframe, go to 2 seconds, add a keyframe, to 0, to take a new solid, just rename it as optical, and we will go to an effect, add an effect from video Copilot, optical flare. If you don't have optical flares, you can use glow effect and linear light effect. It's inbuilt plugin, you can use that. As I have optical flare, so I'm using that. So I'll just clear everything, and I will take a glow and say streak and change the color to blue, something like blue. Okay, change it to screen, toggle switch, and you can change it to screen. And let's see where we can okay, bring up our keyframe. At this point we'll go to our flare settings, and we can play with the position. You can decrease the brightness up to 50% and scale up to 50%. So at this point I need to start. We will just select a keyframe, we'll just hit this stopwatch and say after up to this we'll go ahead and take the flare, and also we need to select a keyframe on the brightness, and on this point we will just take out the brightness, cut out to 0. So and at this point it should start. So before this we'll add another keyframe for brightness, let's hit U, brightness, it will be 0, and it will start after, say, I changed it to 550. It's not 550. Okay, so far so good. So let's see what we created for now. Okay, so this is what we have. Alright, so now we are facing some problem that these particles are not actually moving. So what we need to do, we need to change some of the settings for the first one. Like we will just change some of the settings to just, let's take to third phase. Okay, so we will just change the wind x of this particle. So wind x will be 20, and if we go to our, okay, so at this time let me we'll go to our turbulence field, and we will just change the position to say negative 200. I will just change the scale to 10, and how it will work now. Alright, okay, so now it's moving up. Now the next part is to add some text on. Okay, so your brand name, it's time to add your brand name and all that. So you're going to take a text layer, and let's work with that text layer. Okay, let's increase the size, selecting the layer. Let's align it to center. Let's add an effect, bullet train. Hit U. Okay, let's add an emboss. Okay, this looks good to me. You can really design your text as you want. And now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to take a duplicate the flare, take it to top, and we are going to just hit U and delete all the keyframe. At this point I need to start, so increase the brightness up to say 80%, and change the position. And we will do the same thing what we did before with that optical flare, and we are going to it starts from here to, we are going to add a keyframe on the brightness and just cut it down to 0, and next we will go say 2-3 frames once the text will appear, and just change it to say 70%. And now we will add a keyframe on position X, and maybe go to 8 seconds and change the position here to here. Or we can do one thing, you can really design up to you, it's totally up to you. And now what we will do, we'll just take down we'll add a keyframe for the brightness again, so from here, and we'll just take down the brightness to 0, and also the text to 0. So we'll go to our text layer, T to bring up the opacity, add a keyframe, move 2 frames forward, add a keyframe, and it will be 0. Okay, we are done, almost we are done. Now it's time to add some depth of field, so we are going to create layer, new camera, and say 50 mm is good for me. Okay, and at this point let's go to full raise. At this point we are going to go to camera option and turn on depth of field and set the aperture to say 200. Maybe increase the aperture more. Okay, now once we go to this part, we'll just check it's okay or not. It's looking nice to me. Alright, okay, so almost we are done. Now let's see what we created. Okay, so we need to change some of the thing, like we can change the color. It's very easy, so let's pause it and let's go to our particular. Go to our particular, and now we can do one thing. We can go to our particles, and next to particles can change the color. We'll just change it to random from gradient, and we'll go to color over life, and we'll go to our preset and just change the color. It matched with the color of the ball. Okay, so now what we will do, we'll just go ahead and pre-comp our background layer, and move all the attributes to the new comp, and let's rename it as bg comp, and go to our bg comp and layer new solid, make and just rename it as flare. Go to effects and preset video copilot optical flare. Go to options and clear all, and we are going to take a glow and some of the lens ops and flare, and let's take something like this and change the color to blue. Okay, and we'll just do change it to screen, and brightness I just need 30% of the brightness. Take this to the corner and hit P. Go to first frame, hit to this stopwatch for position. Go to last frame and just take it down like this. So it's get a random like sliding for like it's like a light, it's moving from top to bottom. So now see what we have. We'll go to our first frame and let's increase the size of the screen, and let's see what we have. So let's see what we created for now. And as I told before, that you can really change the color of the particles, and you can change like the flare and each and everything. If you like our video, give a thumbs up, subscribe. I will also attach the project file to the link below, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day. Peace.